The Eurovision Song Contest. It's a state of play. It's a state of play. Get all the updates. Join the conversation with Alesia Michelle. Starting now. Hello, and welcome to our Eurovision State of Play. This is all the latest news happening in the Eurovision world. I am your host, Alesia Michelle. If this is your first time here, this is your opportunity to like this video and to subscribe. This is a live program pretty much weekly. Like once we start getting into the season, we meet a lot. So we've got a lot of folks here. Hello. Oh my goodness, we have, a lot to talk about because we have our running order. And so that's our lead news story for today. Our lead news story for today is all about the running order. I have my thoughts. I want to try and do like rapid fire a little bit. And I also have some special guests joining me. So we have a lot of stuff to cover today and I want to get into it. And so let's just go on and let's rip the Band-Aid. Okay, we're going to rip the Band-Aid. First semifinal. Let me share my thoughts. Why are we kicking off the whole entire show this year with Iceland? Now, y'all know I love Iceland, the country, and I have been wanting Iceland to win Eurovision soon. Did they not see this live performance at the national selection? It was not very polished. It was not very clean. I would not feel confident kicking off my whole show with Iceland. Next up, I think, and I will say why. I think Poland is a far more reliable opener. I think even Ukraine was a far more reliable opener. I think Norway was even a far more reliable opener. I do think Sweden is in a great slot. This was a note that I had in 2023 where I'm like, the songs with a lot of hype, put those a little bit later in the show, even if they're supposed to be first half. Make people wait for them to kind of come up to the stage. So I will say that. So let me hop in here with some of the first comments. Das Mystery Man, first semi is okay for me actually, but Iceland is a surprise. Saracen, they want something fun but not competitive to open. I don't think that that's a smart move. You know what the kind of the perception of the Eurovision Song Contest is, and I think you want to kick off with yes, something fun, but something polished. That's just my opinion. It's so fun though. It's fun when the notes are on the pitch and key. If I'm hearing bum notes and it feels a little bit sloppy, it turns from fun to silly, and it already makes me want to change the channel because it's like, well, what is that? Gospodin says, I believe Iceland will improve the staging. Guess what? They're going to have to. I'll also note on the other half of this, I'm going to be honest, I would have buried Croatia a little bit more. Croatia's in a pretty nice slot. Okay. Like, let's be real. Croatia's in a pretty nice slot. I would have maybe even put like, I would have maybe had Croatia come a little bit earlier. I understand what they're trying to do with our Big Five showcase here. I'm having Switzerland a little bit later, but for the sonic journey of the semi, I would have swapped Switzerland and Italy. If everything else was in the positions that they're in, I would have swapped Italy and Switzerland and had Italy come a little bit later, but I kind of see what they're trying to do there. And then I think I've said this on my channel before. My big thing was I would have closed with San Marino, not Cyprus. But I will say I have a Eurovision for Real podcast coming out where I noted that Cyprus is one of the songs that I think I would love more with WoW staging. So I'm kind of sitting in a world now where I'm like, okay, maybe Cyprus is giving us the WoW staging. But also too, I would have even considered the Netherlands closing too as a little bit of a mea culpa. I'm sorry. But overall with the first semifinal, I don't know if I've said this yet because I have told folks that really there's only 4 countries that I feel like I have to fight for. I know when we first were going into this, we were thinking semifinal 1 was going to be our really competitive semi. I'm not living there. I think we were even thinking, oh yeah, most of the stronger songs we'll have this year are going to be in the first semifinal. I'm not really living there. There's only 4 countries that I feel like I have to fight for. And the only countries I feel like I have to fight for are Poland, Albania, the Netherlands, and San Marino. The rest of the things, like some of the countries, it's like, you'll be fine. Like Sweden's going to be fine. Austria's going to be fine. I don't have to fight for you. So it's going to be real easy for me to vote. Let me hop into some more of these comments. Braden says they couldn't win with any of these semi-opener options, to be honest. I disagree. I think Poland could have been a great opener to the show. Remember, Justina has been on the Eurovision stage before. You got like a nice narrative there. Poland has never won the Eurovision Song Contest before. So I think that there was narrative to be said for that. Ukraine, one of our recent winners, like you could have kicked it to them. I mean, no one's looking at Ukraine to win this semi, I think, so I think it would have been fine to have them open the show as well. Gautam says, expected Estonia to open, not gonna lie. I did not. I did think, especially if the song has a little bit of hype, like I said earlier, make people wait, make the viewers wait a little bit to be like, oh, what's the hype with this song? I wanna see this. Yeah. What else we have? Catalan says, I'm just really mad that at how regular Eastern European countries get the second slot. Peter, I think, kind of agreeing with me. Why is Croatia 14th? I would have. Arguably, I could have had Croatia come after Italy. I could have had that in the 10th slot a little bit, but maybe Croatia is really going to wow us on the stage. So we will see how that will go. Sarah Sun says, I would switch Norway and Croatia. Well, I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can do that. And then Christina says, this year is so weak, so uninspiring. Oof. Okay. Hannah says, Netherlands, they are a sure qualifier. No. Sure, that's why I would have put the Netherlands even possibly to close the show. I would have maybe done that. But the biggest thing that I think passionate about from this first semi is I do not know why we are kicking off with Iceland. I think we had other reliable folks to go with. I would have probably buried Croatia a little bit. I would have swapped Italy and Switzerland, but I understand what they're doing there. I do understand what they're doing there. And I would have closed with San Marino. I stand by that. I would have closed with San Marino. Oswald says, fighting for San Marino is a bit of a choice that I have made. I decided that I'm making it. That's how I feel. Ondi, Poland was so robbed. Justina was 30 years away and she got second spot. Here's my thing. Poland is still going to qualify. Okay. Poland is still going to qualify. So you can put them in the second slot. That's totally fine. Let me give a quick rundown too on the second semifinal. Let me just give a quick one because I really only have 5 points there. Australia opening is a choice. Now y'all know I like Australia's song. I really do. And my mom clearly likes it too. I wouldn't, but it also tells us like it must be really family friendly. Like the staging must be something bombastic, which I hope it is because Australia, last year, I think y'all could have made it if we just had like a real staging concept. So I'm hoping that we have a nice staging concept. I mean, Australia is really, they have cornered the market on like children's family programming. They really, really have. And so, here we are. Ireland staging, Ireland being in the third position makes me go, oh God, is this going to look a little bit like the music video and the Ding Ding stage performance? Because them being third in between Montenegro and Latvia, I don't know why. But I'm still living in a world where like a party qualifies, I think. I don't know. We'll see. Finland closing makes all the sense. All of the sense. All of the sense. Pinwiz, my assumption is that Australia is bringing a giant ice cream truck, so logistically they have to go on first. Okay. Oppo, EBU did Montenegro dirty, or did they do themselves dirty? Because, I mean, let's be real. Even though I think that this song should qualify in theory, if I was the judge and jury, I would be qualifying Montenegro, but I'm not. So, and we're all living in a world where Montenegro is most likely not going to make it. I think it's going to be delivered well on the stage, though. So I will just say that. And then I'll say Montenegro being second, though, is a little bit of a contrast of the flow from the first semifinal. Because as we can see here with Iceland, it's like we got bombast, bombast, slow, mid, bombast. Second semifinal, we have bombast, slow, bombast, kind of mid, bombast. So we really could have had Ireland come second. Everyone would have been upset about it. But again, I think Like a Party still stands out. And then with this second running order, Georgia being between Malta and France, it's over, right? Like it's over. Now, the big five that we have presented in the second semifinal is the UK. And then we have France, one of my favorites this year. And then Germany, which this is actually a really, I think, do I prefer this? And as opposed to Spain, Italy, and Switzerland? Yeah, I do. And speaking of France, because France is one of our front runners, I think I want to take the opportunity to bring my first guest to the stage. My first guest to the stage. And hello, all the way. Are you in France right now, Fabian? Oh, you're on mute. I think you're on mute. Yeah. Edit mic settings. Oh, wait, or is my computer? No. I can hear myself. Okay, we're having technical difficulties. I'm going to bring you back up. Okay, we're going to go back. Let me hop into the comments because some of y'all are still talking about this. So, Gautam says, Serbia getting the pimp slot is so questionable. Well, after years of honestly Serbia getting crappy running orders, it's nice that the EBU decided to go, here you go. And we know it won't amount to anything because the song is not going to qualify. Peter says 37th place for Georgia. Thank you for coming. Saracen says, isn't Greece and Lithuania back to back a bit too serious and sad? Here's where I disagree slightly. I feel like Greece is giving meditative and slow, but Lithuania's song, content-wise, might be giving a little bit more meditative, but I think the performance itself gives bombast. So we're going into a little bit of mid with Lithuania, and then we get our full bombast with Malta. So I'm not hating it. Let's see. Fabia, can I hear you now?
Do you hear me, Alesia?
Yes, you are here. Okay, so I just have to ask, what were your sort of initial reactions to the running order? Did you have anything that was kind of like screaming out at you? I think, a lot of times I say with the running order, people care what happens at the beginning and they care what happens at the end. In the middle, sometimes this stuff is sort of inconsequential, so we don't have to be as fervent as fans. But of course, we're fans, so we're going to be fervent over here.
Yeah, the thoughts I had, for example, was in the second semi. I find it very funny. It's a kind of a storytelling to open with Australia and the double entendre about the milkshake man, and ending it with Finland and Malta in the middle. So there's something coherent.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
happy for Lithuania because I think it's a good running order for Catharsis, and it's one of my favorite songs this year. So I'm happy and I feel kind of confident for them to qualify.
Yeah.
If we speak about France, I'm surprised to have France just after Georgia, two female ballads.
Yeah.
And, I don't know why. And in the first semi, the two Italian songs, the one from Italia and the other one on San Marino, are very close too. So maybe I would have make more space between them.
Yeah, yeah. No, I actually really was happy to see where Lithuania was, so I agree with you. I think that that is actually a great place for Lithuania. But SC98 says, I think Lithuania is going to get blacked. I don't think so. I think that the song is so sonically different that it still has an opportunity to to stand out. And Dino here is saying Lithuania is giving top five in the semi. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. And then yeah, and then Momadama says Australia is starting this nonsense. What about the children? As a mom, I have a 4 year old. I'm telling you, the Australians they have kind of carved out a model of like how to like give things for the children. So I'm just gonna say SBS. Let's let's pick up the phone and talk to some of our wigglers. Let's call some of the bluey people because I believe that we are going to have a family friendly show if they are kicking off the show. But here, Fabian, I have to talk to you about this because France is one of the, front runners this year at Eurovision. Do you think this could be the year?
I hope it can be that year, and I don't say that in a chauvinist way, because yes, I'm not really fan of all the French songs, all the French entries, and some of them I like them, but I'm happy for a top five, for example. But yes, I have a feeling that this year maybe we can have a kind of a Jamala or Duncan Lawrence situation with Luan doing well in both the juries and televote without winning both of them, but between maybe being maybe second in each side, and ending by winning. Yeah, but I hope, because I have a feeling as well that France is maybe one of the countries who has a very strong will to win. The French delegation is making a really hard work to do the things well and to bring the trophy to France, to Paris, and it's a kind of will which wasn't present 10 years ago or more, because France television was not, for France television, Eurovision was not a big deal. But now, and with the revelation of the song in the Stade de France in front of 80,000 people, we can say that, yes, now for France Télévisions, it's a big thing, and winning Eurovision will be a blast, and it's something they want to achieve.
Okay, we've got a question from the commenters. In your opinion, do you feel that this song is stronger than Voila or Mon Amour?
Um, I remember the last year, a lot of people and Eurofans said that Mon Amour was not as strong as Voila. And maybe next year we will have another ballad, and it's not as strong as Voila, Mon Amour, en Maman. I have a feeling that it's not um, it's not the same. There are the three of them are ballads, but Barbara Pravi's song is about her. I'm a singer. Look at me. I want to live my dream and to sing in front of you. Mon Amour by Slimane is a kind of it's a love song about a heartbroken Slimane broken heart, and Maman is a more personal story, because Luan is a kind of is very well known in France, and it's like the little fiancée of France. We know her since 12 years, when she was in the semifinal of The Voice. We have seen her in TV shows, in cinema with La Famille Bélier, remade in the US under the title of Coda, Oscar of the best movie. And she has a great success with her album and concert, etc. And this year, her song is very genuine and, yeah, authentic, because she has a story with her mother. They had the habit to watch every year Eurovision together, and for Luan to take part in the Eurovision Song Contest is a way to pay a tribute to her mother with her song and by taking part to the contest. So maybe if there is something, the karma or the stars aligned, maybe it can do well. I hope for her, because she's a great artist and a very beautiful people. A strong woman. She had to endure a lot of things, and yeah, she's a kind of inspiration for a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw my reaction, but
So
I mean, I cried and I really, even after I was done with my reaction, I was sort of like emotional for the rest of the day. Like that night, even, oh my gosh, I'm getting like emotional again. Like even that night, like I'm sort of sitting on the couch, editing, working, doing stuff, and my fiance kind of came over and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, I think I'm just having like an emotional day. So I woke up, basically reacted to the song, and it really did stick with me. So I connect with the story, and I am hopeful that, when the delegation brings this song to life, we are able to tell this story, because not everyone understands French. But I am actually pulling for France. And I mean, imagine, and I'm saying, we've got lots of options this year at Eurovision, but if we could have the 70th anniversary in France, I mean, that'd be pretty cool. One last question before I let you go. Where do you think it will be? Because I know in years past, when we were talking about winner potential with France, it was like, well, Paris has so much on the docket right now. Do we feel like if France were to win this year, we would be having Eurovision in Paris? Or do you think we would be someplace else? What are your thoughts?
I think that Paris may be on the table because there are a lot of arenas. There are many arenas who can welcome the contest, but maybe they won't be available at this time. And yeah, one of the other facts is that next year will be the year of elections for the mayors in the city in the month of June. So maybe there will be some kind of political tactics to try to make things for your tone, etc. We have seen the junior Eurovision Song Contest in Nice 2 years ago. So maybe Nice will try to welcome the ESC. I think that Lille in the north of France is also an option, close to Luxembourg, to Belgium. Strasbourg could be a symbol for Europe, the European Union. The parliament is in Strasbourg. A lot of city can host, and I think that if Luan wins, finger crossed, a lot of cities will candidate.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me here on
Thank
this state of
you.
play, just to have a moment to talk about France and reacting a little bit to our running order. Thank you.
Bye, Alesia.
Bye. All right. I mean, look, we've got some winner potential folks, and I do think France is in that winner potential conversation. It's top 5 in the betting odds. So even if you're not loving the song, clearly there's enough people who are. And so, we're at an interesting time in the Eurovision season, because yes, the Eurovision season has begun. But it's also a special time because it's pre-party season. And I don't know if y'all know, technically I haven't I've kind of been to pre-parties. Like I've done the Melfest pre-party because I've gone to Melody Festival, and so they sort of do that in conjunction. But I'm not really a deep pre-party person, but I love the concept of this, because if you can't go to the big show, you can get like a little slice, a little taste. And so I've told myself, well, maybe if there's a year where I'm not going to the big show, I gotta check out like a pre-party or something. But I'm coming from America, so it's a little bit harder for me. The flights are a little bit pricier. So I'm not going to discuss this too deeply, but I'm joined by another special guest, and I'm so excited because, well, can I just Am I allowed to say where people know you from? Like, am I
Yes,
allowed? Okay,
of course.
so you might have seen, like with Wee Wee Blogs, you contribute to Wee Wee Blogs, but you play a very big role for the London Eurovision pre-party, and that's, I would say, one of the bigger ones that we get. And I think year over year, it's actually just become kind of like bigger and bigger. So one, how are you doing? Because you're in the midst of like deep Eurovision pre-party planning, and there's a lot of pieces that kind of get put together. So I'm gonna stop talking. Where are you at right now with all this stuff? Because I mean, it's
No,
probably a lot.
it is a lot. I've literally got a screen here. We're about to announce another act in half an hour. So I've literally got that open on my screen. It's a very busy time at the moment. We're less than 3 weeks away from the London Eurovision party. And basically, my involvement in it is because I'm part of Wee Blogs. We are the media partner for LEP. And so, with fan sites, people assume you just turn up, shout slay, and get accreditation. Absolutely not. All fan creators, we do a hell of a lot. Yourself as well, Alesia, like you do so much work. And part of Wee Blogs, what we do is events. We have the lounges in the host cities. That's, a thing every year now, become a bit of a tradition. And yeah, we're media partners for LEP. And this is my third one, kind of being part of that organization side. And yeah, a huge part of it for me is working with the organisers to do the announcements. It's so hard when I know who's coming and I want to tell people like, oh my god, JJ is coming, but I can't tell them until it's announced. Um, but yeah, like we have still got a few. We're coming to the end of it now. I've written about 25 announcements so far, and I'm ready to have them all out there now.
Okay,
But
so are tickets still available? Do people
yeah,
still have an opportunity? Okay, so folks, I mean, and there's such a large, I mean, like basically in the UK, that's the biggest fan club technically, like
yeah.
easily. So it's like you kind of got to do something. So I know there's also the folks who plan on being traveling. So actually I forgot, like last year I did the Copenhagen sort of pre-party that was Eurovision like week, and so they're doing something in Manchester. I saw someone hop that out. But I mean, because there's so many Eurovision fans, and because Eurovision is becoming so grand, and also because Eurovision is becoming so expensive, this is also a way that people can get a slice of the contest at a more affordable, level. What do you feel like is the reason why most people kind of go to pre-parties? What's been your experience?
I mean, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Like, I started going to pre-parties. My first Eurovision in person was only in 2023, and I would go to pre-parties every year instead because I couldn't afford to go to Eurovision itself because hotel prices are crazy. I mean, myself this year, I've chosen not to go to Basel because it was cheaper to go somewhere else for 2 weeks than go to Basel. So I'm just like, I'm so involved in London. I'm so excited to be doing London. And I think there are a hell of a lot of people who do that. They come to see their favourite artists because they can't get over to Basel. And I think it's a really wonderful, wonderful thing. I mean, London is having its Sweet 16 this year. It's the 16th time we've done LEP. I think
That's
we're definitely
huge. I
huge.
mean, that's like huge for something that's been going on for so long. Obviously, we talked a little bit about this earlier, where the 70th is next year. And when I talk to people about Eurovision and I'm like, well, the 70th is next year, they're like, wait, like it's been going, how have I not heard about this? But I think even for the pre-parties, the fact that like there's been sort of this community adjacent to it. I've always said like that's the thing I love about Eurovision is it's like a fandom you can be a part of and literally experience in person. It's not something you just have to kind of engage with from afar.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people make their best friends through Eurovision. A lot of people that I'm close with in my life, who I see in person a lot, are from different parts of the UK. I've got and also across Europe. Like one of my best friends is Danny from Belgium, and we see each other whenever we can. It's a really beautiful thing because people meet at pre-parties. LEP, and I know Amsterdam has this as well. People queue for a long time before, and they kind of go to the stage door and stuff, and it becomes a real community thing. And that's where I've met so many of my friends, and like from going in 2015. And you were saying about the scale of pre-parties going massive as well. The first time I went to London Eurovision party, it was tiny, like tiny, a few hundred people, I think. And then I went to Cafe de Paris, it was maybe 500. Now we're here at Altanet, which is one of the most amazing, modern, incredible music venues in very central London. It's literally outside, it's near Oxford Street. It's a huge venue, and it's really cool. Like when we're working the event on the day, it's you kind of get the gravity of, oh damn, like this is a huge operation. Even or being part of organising parts of it, I still just like I'm really proud of us right now, and I think the
Yeah.
fans like when they come, it is a huge difference. And Amsterdam's the same. Amsterdam used to be in the Melkweg, and now
Yeah.
it's in AFAS Live, and I think that's about 3,000 people in Amsterdam. It's a phenomenal venue. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really growing. And the UK OGAE, like you say, it is the biggest in all of Europe. I think it's got about 7,000 members. Like it's huge. I mean, anybody that came to Liverpool will know the UK fans take Eurovision very seriously. The UK regularly has like the most viewers, or like one of the highest viewerships in the whole continent. People take the mick out of us, like, oh, Brits will hate Eurovision. No, Brits love Eurovision, okay? And yeah, I think this pre-party in London really shows that, and I'm so proud to be part of it.
Yeah, so is this our first pre-party? Like, who's kicking off pre-party season this year?
Nordic Eurovision
Well, so the
party
Nordic
last
one.
week. I think that was last
Okay,
week,
okay.
but that was quite a small scale one. I think
Yeah.
Amsterdam is the week before us, and then I know Manchester's on the Friday, I think, and then we're the Sunday night.
Okay.
And I don't know where Madrid is. I think that might be the week before Amsterdam even. So Madrid, it's usually Spain that kicks off like the big scale, like the really big ones. I mean, Nordic's quite a new party, and they've done so well. I've heard it was very good last week, so props to Norway. But yeah, Madrid's coming up, and I know so many people that have started going to that one instead of maybe some other ones, like to try something different. And apparently, it's just so fun. I mean, we know the Spanish fans are amazing and like to party, so that's an aim for me to try and get to Madrid.
Well, I definitely said I was like I want to hit one of the Spanish like pre-parties. Like I was like that definitely I've got to do it at some point. Well, before I let you go, I have to ask because we're living still in the afterglow or maybe the after melee of the running order reaction. What was your biggest sort of surprise? And then maybe what was your favorite thing that you were like, okay, I'm glad to see that from the running order? I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but.
No, it's very kind of gut instinct to me, and it's similar to what you were saying. Why is Iceland opening semi one, and why is Cyprus closing it? Like, why? That is so random. I thought Estonia would open semi one because you needed something like you need a big song to open, right? But I thought Espresso Macchiato, whilst I prefer Iceland, I thought that would be more universal to people. I was really shocked that was it. And Poland going second, Justina. You know what though? I really wouldn't want to perform either side of Justina. She is so unforgettable.
I agree. I mean, and think about it. All the commentators are going to give the context. That's why I was almost living in a world of, I think, with Iceland opening, no shade, but it was just like there were, in my opinion, more optimal choices. And I do think I could have lived in a world where, 30 years later, she's back on the Eurovision stage, from the host, and then we go into like truly kicking off the show. Well, thank you for sharing with me and joining the State of Play. And for folks there's still time. Get your tickets for the London Eurovision party. There's like plug it. I will probably drop a link after this is done so people can go. But I do think like get yourself a slice of a Eurovision experience. You don't just have to have your Eurovision experience in the host country.
Agreed.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, y'all. So, we were swimming in national selections this year, and I didn't go to any of them. Okay, I didn't go to any of them. But I know someone who pretty much, I mean, you're already going to know. When you see that luggage shot, when you see the luggage shot, it's going down. Okay. Tim. So let me just say, Tim and I go way back because Tim and I were at ESC Extra at the same time.
Yeah.
So I will say I actually know, I feel like I know you. There's some people like I just know virtually, but like
Mhm.
we know each other. I've seen you for years at Eurovision, and I
Yeah.
tell folks like one of the things I love about the press room is it feels like a family reunion a
Mhm.
little bit. Like every year you show up and it's like, hey, like how
Yeah.
have you been and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Tim. So
Mm.
are you still on the road or are you actually at home
No,
now?
I'm actually at home. I'm actually at home.
Oh my goodness. We caught you in a rare
Yeah.
moment. So you've already traveled so much.
Yeah.
What would you say favorite national selection this year? Because you have that like real on the ground
Yeah.
perspective.
Well, I only went to two shows, so of course I'm gonna have to give my hands down to Mello just because they know what they're doing.
Okay.
So SVT knows what they're doing in terms of like, okay, get you guys are here, here's what we're doing, and here's how you can do things, blah blah blah. But I will also just give props to the other one because I went to the Luxembourg Song Contest.
Okay. Yeah.
There it is, even though they've only been, this is like what, their second year that they're back, they've organized it really well, and it's kind of like smooth operation for both of them, so props to them as well.
Okay. But you also have so shout out your site because now it's that Eurovision site and
Yes.
y'all have been showing up everywhere. So even from the sense of your team, like, yeah,
Yeah.
which ones do you feel like were really standouts and I mean, we had so many we had new national selections, I should say,
Yeah.
like this year and some, dusting off and kind of coming back. What was the sense even from your team?
I obviously it's a lot. First of all, a new thing that we did is we if you guys follow us, we've done the rankings, we've done the reaction video, so we've obviously shown what our thoughts are on that. And I would just say that it is a mixed bag. We don't always get it right, obviously, if you've read our rankings, but I think most of the broadcasters have been spot on with like choosing the acts, and we kind of got close to maybe like picking the top three, and the winner was eventually there. So I think we kind of got an inkling in what is there basically.
Okay, so on my last state of play, we had Simon on who did say, that maybe the vibe of like Eurovision, of Melody Festival and post the winner's afterglow was slightly different. And you've gone to Melody Festival and for years. And so what was your sense? I mean, because we actually had, I'd say, a real shock kind of surprise winner. I mean, I remember what was it? Melody Festival in 2020. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we were sort of, I wouldn't say that the Mamas winning was like a full shock because they were in that winner potential conversation. But this year really felt like truly an outsider came, kind of from the back, moved up, and then ended up winning the whole thing, didn't even win their semi. And I think the only other time where maybe, or the most recent time where this happened was that Robin Huenberg,
Yeah.
so that was
Yeah.
quite some time ago.
Yeah, no, it's I would just say like, I was very big on Mello this year. I even went to the artist reveal in November, and Kai were there, and I think it was more of like like a humor act, so pay no bother attention because everyone has their attention on other acts that are more like, okay, you're a veteran. But then because I was there when Kai participated in Mello in Malmö, and when honestly, like it hit like a switch. Like it was more of when I heard it, and it started like ramping up and people are more aware of it. When I first saw the first rehearsal, I was like, I would love to. We were still in that mindset, okay, a former Eurovision winner could make it. And I would not be surprised about that. But I think as time went on, people just said, you know what? I think we need something different from Sweden, and
Mhm.
obviously Sweden paid attention. 'Cause even they said something themselves, like, we are here because we want to bring a bit of Eurovision to Mello. And look how that turned out for them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so now you're planning on going to Basel, and I have a real question outside of just, where is the money appearing from that you're able to travel because I would like some of it. I would just like some of the dollars to trickle down my way. No, but the real question
Yeah.
is how many suitcases this year?
It's just the usual. It's 2 big ones and a carry-on. Like
Okay.
I have filming equipment with me. It's not just clothes in there. Jeez.
No, but I hear you. I think I became what year did I really go hard with this? And then I think I put Mihal from Eurovision Hub onto this. I was like,
Yeah.
why am I lugging all of my equipment in a backpack when I can just put it
Yeah,
in like
no,
a rolly bag?
you know what, funny
Like,
thing, you know, when I met you in 2019 and you said that, your back will thank you if you, I've been doing that ever since. If I'm carrying a lot of stuff with me, like, no, I like, there are amount of times where I literally had so many bags with me running from the train in Stockholm. Like, nope, no,
yeah, I was like, I'm never doing this again. I have small enough carry-ons with wheels. I'm putting the stuff in a mini suitcase,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope you have so much fun in Basel. Give a shout out to the whole entire team. And thank you for joining our State of Play discussion today.
No, and I'm looking forward to watching the rest because I've been watching throughout your conversations about the running order, and it's like sweet as well.
Well, hold on. Well, before I let you go,
Yeah.
what was your biggest surprise of the running order? And then maybe what was something you saw that you were like, yes, in the running order?
Okay. I'd say like pretty curious about Cyprus closing. I don't know. I don't know what it is they've got this year that have warranted them to be the closer for this year. And I was like, hang on. But my yes is, I think it's gonna be obvious, Erica. Like, you're gonna close something with a big banger, and we got that. And I'm so happy about that.
Same here. Thank you so much for taking the time to join our State of Play.
Thank you for inviting me, because I'm so happy to be back, because I think we tried to do this last year, and and I was traveling, and I was like, I lost signal, and I was like, no, but I'm so happy to have my redemption. So thank you very much for inviting me for the thing.
Yes, of course. And we'll probably have another conversation when we get closer, and maybe I'll be able to get some folks who are actually in Basel, because for the 2000th time, I'm not going. The funds aren't there. Computer says no. Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right. Okay. So we have a whole bunch of stuff. I want to hop into these comments because y'all have been in here. Ooh. Oh, let me see. Gospodin says Portugal closing the first half was the biggest surprise for me. I mean, I actually think where Portugal is kind of like a little bit of a sweet spot. But to be honest, I think Portugal's not going to advance, right? Right, y'all? It's not going to happen. I want to fight, but I have to be realistic. I need to spend my money wisely when it comes to voting for my faves. And I'm telling you, I'm a strategic voter. I am a strategic voter. So I will be voting for Poland, Albania, the Netherlands, and San Marino in semifinal 1, because I feel like those folks have a shot. And I got to make sure that they get their shot, by throwing the dollars behind them. Oh, wait. Momadama, Portugal had to go on Poland's spot. Nikolai, Portugal's sandwich between Sweden and Norway is crazy to me. They got butchered Viking style. The Vikings. Okay. Gustav says, I refuse. Portugal will qualify. But here's the thing. Does Portugal want to qualify this year? Do they want to? Which is a real thing. Now, I'm not saying that like, oh, they selected, this isn't really to do with the song. I just think sometimes there are years where it's like, you know what, we've been doing this thing. We've been doing it good. And you know what? We're going to take a little step back. We're going to take a little step back and let some other people shine. And, because it's also like Portugal's like, look, when we get to the final, we're going to be gobbling up, some, solid jury points too. So you know what? The rest of y'all, we're going to give you an opportunity. And I mean, I believe in charity. And I will say, Portugal, if it is charity with which you are providing us and these other participants, I will receive it. Thank you. So Gospel in Portugal just decided to take a break and Tony, San Marino sounds fun for a party, but I think it's just a basic DJ song, and I have heard a lot better. I don't think he will have proper staging either, since he wants to be in the middle of everything. Let me just say this about San Marino this year. Comparing it to the quality of the other songs that we have this year, I think San Marino is doing just fine. Fine. Peter, Alesia, Armenia is done coming before Austria, right? I don't think that this was a conversation just about the running order. I think there was some doneness prior to even receiving that. Walter, Alesia, do you think Malta can qualify from spot 9? Malta is qualifying. Oh, come on. Let's come on. I know we get worked up about the running order sometimes, but some truths remain. And remember, I think they are going to keep the rule where people can start voting from the beginning of the show. I think they might keep that rule. So there we go. All right. Well, you might be sitting here and going, Alesia, I've watched this whole thing. Well, guess what? If you haven't, you're not subscribed, this is your opportunity to like this video and to subscribe. Okay, no, but moving on, I am not alone, and I'm going to be inviting someone because I kind of want to talk a little bit about I want to talk about Greece a little bit because, I know I have so many people who watch the channel from Greece, and I feel like I have some people who are just kind of like, but what about Greece, Alesia? I'm like, y'all, it's one of my favorite songs this year. Kostas, tell the people it's one of my favorite songs this year.
It is?
Yes, it's one of my favorite songs this year. Easily. Cakewalk. I mean, when is Greece going to win Eurovision? Because I need to go back. And, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go on my honeymoon. I do have Greece on the list. I have a big birthday coming up in the next couple of years. And so I'd like to do something very cute, preferably being on a yacht in the Mediterranean, and I'm thinking I get a couple of days in Athens, and then I hop on my boat.
Sounds like a great plan.
That's what I think. So when is Greece? Well, what do you think of Greece's entry this year?
Well, okay. I don't know, Alesia. I don't know because I love the song personally. I love Claudia. She's so talented. I love your voice. But I don't know how it will translate. Like I'm when it's your country, at least that's how I am every year with my country. I'm like, how is everyone else is listening to it? Because I cannot be objective because I'm always rooting for Greece because I'm Greek.
Well, at this point, I'm probably not that objective with Greece, but I try to be objective with everyone. I really, really do. And I try to look at things realistically. I think Greece still has an opportunity to come top 5 with the juries because I believe Greece is qualifying. So then I think, where in recent years we've had kind of this lopsided jury support at Eurovision where it's like all the juries kind of just funnel the 12 points in one country's direction. I actually don't think we're living there this year. I think there's a conversation of, I think France is in the mix. I think Austria is in the mix. I do think France should be, France, I already said France, right? I think the Netherlands is going to be in the mix. And I do think Greece has an opportunity to be in the mix if the staging is tasteful.
Yeah.
If the staging is tasteful. And let me hop into this comment. So Momadama, I don't like Greece, but the problem with Greece is always the staging. Last year, they had my favorite song from their country ever, and the staging let me down. And then, Gospodin says, Greece needs to stop being obsessed with record labels to win Eurovision. Antonio says, Greece worries me about the staging. Peter says, I predicted Greece 7th. I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that. Iana says, Iona, there is no way we are not qualifying. What? Greece is qualifying. Come on.
No, I think she says there's no way we are not qualifying. Like we are.
Oh yes. Yes. I mean, yes. I mean, so Greece is going to make it. So to me, it's just how much jury love are we going to get, because I do think, and if Portugal, I'm sorry, I know some of y'all think Portugal is qualifying, but if Portugal doesn't make it, we got a couple of jury points freed up that maybe Greece can pick up. Look, I'm trying to spread the love. I don't know.
Listen. I'm also worried about the staging. I completely agree with you. Like we've been burned year after year, and the thing is that I'm also worried about the semifinal, the qualification. I believe if we qualify and we have a good staging, then we'll get the jury points. But
Okay.
I'm scared of a 2018 situation.
Well, that is a rightful thing to be afraid of, but I do think what hurt Greece 2018 more than the non-existent staging and the blue hand was the fact that the vocals were not on point. And at least with Claudia, we know the vocals are going to be on point. Like
Yeah.
we know it's going to sound good. Yeah, like we know it's going to sound good. Well, Kostas, so we will move away from Greece a little bit. What are some of your favorites this year? I know I did a, don't call it a top 10, but I think you actually have like you're working on like an actual ranking. I don't know that I'll be able to commit to that. I'm going to try. I'm going to try my best.
I'm trying as well because I'm between moving houses at this moment. So I haven't done my top 10 video. I haven't set on the top 10. I'm not set yet, but I'm working on it. Some of my favorites are Australian.
Okay, I love it. Yeah, I love it.
And then I have some other favorites that are not so fun favorites, which
Okay,
are
shout them out.
Portugal.
Well, I just want to be clear. I like Portugal's entry. I just am like, if this one doesn't make it, like advance, I wouldn't be surprised. But it's like kind of one of those songs where I'm like, it's just good music. And I do feel like there's a couple of songs this year that to me, I consume them more on my casual non-Eurovision playlist than I do when I'm listening to the Eurovision playlist, if that makes any sense. And it's Lithuania, it's Portugal, and Switzerland, really. Like those three, I kind of just listen to as an aside. And I said this with Portugal with FDC this year. This was one of the songs that I liked. I just didn't think that it was going to go to Eurovision, so I didn't really wrap my mind around like, okay, well, where is this going to fit? Like, how could this land? And really, the FDC playlist this year was tricky for me because I kind of liked everything, but I couldn't really see, like, the standouts for me were like Peculiar and Josh, obviously. And let's just be clear, because I want to be clear for folks. Josh would have been finishing top 10 at Eurovision this year. And I think it would have been a cakewalk. I'm just saying. Okay, yes, but what are some of your other favorites?
I love Croatia, another non-fun favorite. I just like it, but yeah.
But Croatia, I think Marco is a really good singer. Like, I liked the vocal.
Right?
Like, it's weird for me because this song to me, like Poison Cake, it's like everything that I should like that now I am living in a world where I think I don't like it. Because it's like, it's too many of the things very close to what I like. I like Out of the Box. I like avant-garde. Musical theater I don't love, but like theater adjacent where there's like drama. Like I like a song with a little bit of drama. And so like I have the drama in it. But I think for me, what I've realized is I think I could have just stayed in the Poison Cake world. I didn't need to go skip to my Lou with dun 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 da 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 da. That's what I realized.
I think they try to do a Bambi chains there, where it's like strong
And when we try to copy people, it doesn't always work. You know what I mean? I just think we should have stayed in the dark.
Yeah, I don't assume that they wanted to copy, but I'm saying that was the intention musically. I don't know, like, oh, let's do a Bambi thing, but I think that was the...
Well, I think it was the intent, like not to copy, like I think it was like, yeah, let's do sort of juxtaposition. But I think with Bambi, it worked. It worked, and this time I don't know where's the rest of y'all going. Lena Mays says, I don't like Poison Cake too. Oh wait, really? And We Know Veritas says Croatia is for Junior Eurovision. Oh, You
I
know what
don't.
though? I don't know. What do you think? I don't know about that.
Oh, you mean the song would fit for Junior Eurovision?
I think that's what
It's a
Inwino is saying.
revenge. It's a revenge song about killing someone. I don't think. I don't. I don't think.
Well, this I might kind of agree with. So Hepelo says Poison Cake is like Bambi Thug and Yang coming together. And I'm like,
Ah,
but Jan, I think a contrast, I really liked Gladiator because it stayed dark. And I think I would prefer Poison Cake if it just committed. Just keep me in the dark, like we are in the forest or we're in the kitchen.
yeah,
I'm
but
starring.
I think that because I live in London, in the UK, for so long now, I have appreciated camp more in my life. So I think
Yeah.
this camp moment, like, I just get it, you know? I'm having fun. I laughed when I saw it for the first time, and I'm like, I'm into this, you know? Very drag race performance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm feeling that. Okay, is there a song this year that you feel like, and I'm not saying like that you don't like it, but the question is song that you wish you liked more? Like where it's like you actively are like, "Oh, I want to like this more. I just need insert thing."
Song. So there is
Song.
a song as a song, and that's Poland. Because I love
Ah.
Justina. I love her as a performer on stage. Sonically, is not
Yeah.
what I listen in my life. But
Mhm.
when I see her on stage, I'm like, she's a goddess. Like she has such a control. She knows how to perform and sing at the same time. Like I feel confident. But the song, I wish it was a bit more to my taste, you know? I know there
Okay.
are people there that love it.
Yeah, no, I I think for me the song got me kind of immediate. So then when
Okay.
I saw it live, it built upon, so I was like, "Oh, I'm into this." So in the same ways of Poison Cake, like there is a level of Gaia that is camp. Like where it's just like
Mhm.
we're singing, we're
Yeah.
dancing, there's latex, we got there's a flute portion. She grabs the fiddle or the violin. I am buckled up. I am like, Queen, serve me, serve me. I
Yeah.
am
Yeah.
here. I am here. I am ready to consume whatever you are giving me. But I could understand why it's not, like universal. I totally understand it not being universal. Antonio, to this question that I asked, Antonio says, mine's Malta. FF says Montenegro and Italy for me. I do have a podcast coming out. And so one of the questions that we kind of cover on the podcast is sharing the songs we want to love more, but we don't. And so one of those songs for me, I agree with you. Italy, like I really actually want to like the song more because I like the meaning. I love the music video. But I just, when it comes up in the car, I'm like, sometimes I let it kind of run all the way through. And then sometimes I'm like, okay, like move on to the next thing. But I do actively want to like it more. And then Taco says, I really like Gaia, but Lusterka was my fave. Okay, that might be Lusterka. That is gonna be probably one of my most played songs. Like I am gonna do a video like the songs that got away, so the songs that didn't make it to Eurovision, that are on my ESC pre-selects faves playlist. That song in the car, y'all, get you a road trip moment. Be on the highway when you can speed a little bit, have the window cracked a little bit, with the good sunglasses. It hits. Costas, I don't think we talked about this, but did you have like a favorite national selection this year? Like grouping of songs?
Listen, I didn't follow a lot this year because
There were
my
so
life
many.
was everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but there were so many too. It was a lot.
There were so many, right? Yeah. I
So
don't
many.
yeah. I
It
was
was too
like
many. I was drowning. But
I
I
couldn't
did
pressure myself to do it.
but I realized that like I played out Latvia and Estonia. Like I really went to those playlists the most. Like Portugal, honestly, I still put that on and just listen to, like let it just kind of like play. But I will say I've been in the habit of that for quite some time now. Like I think even in my like Apple, like I don't Spotify, but Apple does like a wrap up, and so I think for like I don't know, March or February last year, like my most played album. Like I think even for the year, one of my most played albums was the Festival da Canção album, and I'm like, it makes sense. It makes sense. Momadama says it's just a weak year for me. I want it to be stronger, but I can't force it. But Costas, you don't think it's a weak year at all, though.
I did at the beginning,
Okay.
but as we were getting more songs, I was like, I actually am into this year. And
Okay.
listening to them again and trying to figure out a top 10, I'm like, I actually have more than 10 songs that I would like to include in my top 10. So I guess that it's
Okay.
not as bad of a year as I was thinking at the beginning, you know?
Okay.
Also,
Okay.
I want to shout out Albania, one of my
Yes.
favorite songs,
Yes.
Malta, and Italy. I don't know if I said Australia as well, but these are the songs that are like very high up.
Okay. Well, I have to ask this question because you're already in Europe. So of the Eurovision songs that we think have the most like likely shot at winning, where do you want to go the most? Because I mean, this is real. This is the
When
70th year. So where do you want to go the most of the ones that we think, could possibly win?
I saw that post that you did, I think it was on Twitter, and I was like, I want to go somewhere warmer. But if I have to choose from them, uh, should I think just for holidays or should I say
Well, for
song-wise?
I think it's combining. It's a little bit of like, well, I like the song. I would like to see it win. I think it'd be winner worthy. And I would prefer to go to this place. Because I'll say this. I like Austria. Yes, it is. It's in the vein of stuff that I typically like. But do I feel as enthusiastic about going to Austria as I do like Finland or Malta or
I
Greece?
I do.
Probably not. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I do for Austria because my cousin lives in Vienna, so I have a free house to stay. So
Well, boom.
I would like that, and I like the song as well. Then Sweden, we went recently, like last year, so it's all right. Although I love the song, so let me see. The Netherlands. I could
The Neville.
Finland. You know what? It's gonna be very cold. I want somewhere warmer, but Finland, Finland. I really see it winning.
I still think, and I saw some comments earlier, and we'll begin to get into our closing, but I saw some comments earlier where people are like, why have we just abandoned Finland? And I was like, we, not me. Um, to me, Finland is still in a realistic winner contention
Mm,
conversation
mm.
because I do have real fears about Austria and the televote. Like, I don't know if Europe will gravitate towards it. I do think in the past, opera songs have struggled, classical contemporary songs have struggled with the televote in particular. So I am concerned about that. I would say, with Finland, it's just with Finland, I feel like I can see jurors giving this, ranking it top four. I really
Mm.
can. And I still see a world where Finland could come top four in the televote too. Even if Sweden were to win the televote, like even if we're living in a world where Sweden wins the
And they
televote,
probably will.
they could, but
Mhm.
and even in a world where, let's say, Estonia wins or comes second, I actually think of those kind of televote friendly songs. I actually think Erica has a shot to best the boys, so to speak, with the jury. So even if the jury is ranking things, and also too, I think the jury has a lot of stuff where there's some real musical appreciation there with Austria, I think with the Netherlands, with Greece, France, like I think that there are several songs that present themselves there for quality. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I agree with you, and I don't know. I don't think Estonia will. I'm crazy here. I think that Estonia might not even qualify.
Well, I don't think the running order is actually the best for Estonia. I'll be I'll be totally real. I don't know that that's the most optimal place, but I'm also living in a world where I'm like, well, the song has enough streams. There's enough people who are aware of it where it's like maybe it doesn't matter where it comes in the running order. It just is. Let me see what the comments are saying. YouTube. There's no way Finland is winning. Also don't understand the hype about Sweden. If that was a song from another country, it would even struggle to qualify. And I'm with you halfway with this. I don't think that this is a song that would struggle to qualify. We've seen smaller countries and countries that even have spottier like qualification records send fun stuff and advance. Insert Moldova. Like, you know, so we have seen that. The one thing I will say about Sweden is I think people are thinking that Sweden is going to do super, super well with the jury because they did at the national selection. Here's the issue. The jury in Melody Festivalen was not necessarily, I'd say, a jury that was solely reflective of what we typically see at the Eurovision Song Contest. There were far more people from this sphere participating, and I've never been asked to be on a jury for the Eurovision Song Contest, okay? You know, but available. When we get, I'm waiting for our rest of the world jury. I am pushing for a rest of the world jury. Like, if we get the rest of the world fan votes, I think we should be able to get, like, a jury of music professionals. And I think it's also, I mean, free advice plug, it's also an opportunity for the EBU to get like some actual maybe well-known Americans and stuff in the mix, and maybe some well-known Canadian performers, some well-known Latin American performers in the mix, you know, from countries that don't participate, shout out Africa, you know, and then configure like this kind of super group of maybe some known talent. Like there's some actual, I know Tony Award winners. I could get a Tony Award winner who's in a Broadway show right now, and that's True T, who's in a Broadway show right now. I could get her to judge some Eurovision songs and plot something out. Just saying. So
Can you get it for your channel?
Actually, I probably could, but honestly, I would not ask her to slum it with me over here. I'm like, the girl has a Tony, okay? She has a Tony. I would be like, girl, you do not need to come over here for that. But for being a part of a rest of the world jury for Eurovision, absolutely. I would absolutely make that connect if you need someone. So I think that could be really cool. But I say all this to say, like, I think that jury and this is not a slight, it's just like a reality. So what we see at Eurovision, maybe Sweden isn't even third with the jury, like maybe it is on that other side, because again, I do think if we look at the Eurovision juries and what they tend to gravitate towards, I do think Finland has an opportunity. I think Malta has an opportunity because juries historically do appreciate Malta and they love a vocal moment. And I do think Malta is going to have a nice vocal performance. But again, we've got Greece, we've got France, and actually, well, yeah, we've got Greece, we've got France, we've got the Netherlands. Like we have Austria. You know, we have other countries that I do think are going to give like and as compositions, they are really good.
Can I say something else?
Yeah.
Cyprus. I want to talk about this.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Because I think they're so underestimated. And I think we can have, I'll take it back to what I said before, another 2018 moment where we don't see the song because the song is all right. Mm-hmm. And then we have a great performance on stage. And I take that because who said that before of the previous guests, that why Cyprus last? Maybe they're preparing something. And I was like, oh, are they preparing something? You know, and that's a good destination for holidays. And I've never been to Cyprus.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't think Cyprus is going to win this year. And I don't think that rehearsal week will hear anything of hype because there won't be enough press people present to generate any hype for it, to have an Eleni Ferreira moment. This is just logistics and reality. But I did say, like in my latest podcast, Cyprus is the country that I'm like, I think when I see it live, I'm going to appreciate it more. Because right now, I'll say I prefer what Czechia's doing sonically, like the song, than like Cyprus's. But I feel like Cyprus's song is being set up as something to appreciate visually. Like they're setting themselves up for like, oh, this might be a real show. And with them closing, I'm kind of like, ooh, so maybe they are. So I don't know. We will see. We will see.
I'm excited to see if it will like go there, because I have a feeling, but many times my feeling is wrong.
Oh, well,
So
let's
we'll
be
see.
hopeful. Let's be hopeful. And we will close on that. Thank you so much for joining my State of Play, Costis. But like also, thank you to everyone. And if you haven't already, please like this video and please do subscribe. My reaction to all the Eurovision songs is dropping on Sunday. I have a Eurovision for Real podcast where people have been asking me, can you do like, you know, the bottom five video? I'm doing a whole podcast breaking down some of the songs that I feel like are less than good this year. That's what we're going to say. Less than good. Less than good is how we're going to frame it.
That's been good.
But so much content coming, and you don't want to miss the next State of Play. And I also have the Ladies' Choice live streams are back. So there's so much content coming your way. If you love Eurovision, you got to like this video and you got to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the people commenting. Thank you to all of my special guests today. All right. See